When we first moved onto the property, it was just complete almond trees. So he would take me out to the orchard and we'd walk through the rows. And he'd take me up to a certain spot right here where my front porch is. And be like, right here, look right here. This is our front porch. This is where it's gonna be. Can you picture it? I'm gonna build your house. And that's So this is my son, Will. He's our youngest. Right here is my oldest daughter, Michaela. Caleb is my second youngest. My oldest son, Zek. And right in back there is my third child. And his soon-to-be wife, Tate. And Tom's mom, Irene. And my son-in-law, Jake. So, Tom was raised a farm boy. He grew up in Grand Forks, North Dakota. He lived across the river. Worked all his growing up years for his uncle on the farm. So he just had a love for the ground, and it instilled in him a work ethic that he portrayed in his whole life and was able to teach our children. He was just a determined and motivated man. And that way, growing up, he started playing piano when he was young and fell in love with it. And he took that through his high school years, would practice 3 hours a day on it, and got to a point where, he thought maybe that was what he wanted to do. Tom and I met at Northwestern College down in St. Paul, Minneapolis. First time I laid eyes on Tom, I knew he was the one. I mean, I saw those eyes and I just fell in love, and I knew he was mine. So, after a couple years at the school, we moved. Tom went back to Grand Forks, and I ended up going up to there to go to school also. And we kind of turned directions, and Tom was really interested in aviation because he knew piano performance just might not bring a very good income for our family. So he switched gears, and his love of aviation, he started flight training and did that for a little bit until he ran out of money. And then he thought, I'll just go to school for aviation mechanics, and got his associates in that. And Tom and I got married at Northwestern College, the school we met at. This beautiful chapel there. So it was a picture perfect wedding we had. It was beautiful. When Tom finished up school, we were living in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Tom got hired on with Cessna, and we moved to Milwaukee. That was his first job. We were there a year, but weren't with family or anything, by ourselves. And Tom and I took a trip out to California. My parents were living there at the time, and we ventured up to Sacramento, where they were building a new service center for Cessna. And we just fell in love with the area, the farming up here and everything. It just kind of brought back memories, and it just felt like home to Tom and I. And moved up here to the country, out of the city, and eventually bought ourselves a little almond farm, and it's where we raised our kids. When we first bought our home in Arbuckle, 2000, he knew we wanted to be in the country. We were in town, but he got to a point where they were expanding the town, and he didn't want to be near. He wanted space. He loved land, and he knew he wanted his own piece that he could farm and build on and make his own. And uh, found this little piece, little south of Arbuckle, little ways, and little shack on it, pretty much, and it was where Tom's dreams started to come to life for him. When we first moved onto the property, it was just complete almond trees. So he would take me out into the orchard and we'd walk through the rows. And he'd take me up to a certain spot right here where my front porch is. And he'd be like, right here, look right here. This is our front porch. This is where it's gonna be. Can you picture it? I'm gonna build your house. And as time went on, we got the trees removed and started prepping the land and going up to Chico and to a log home company and building our plans. And it was probably a 5-year period, but over those 5 years, little by little, Tom made those dreams come true for us. And he didn't let anything that he didn't know how to do stop him. He didn't know how to plumb. He learned how to plumb. He didn't know how to wire. He learned how to wire. He didn't know how to build a log home. He taught himself. He just had so much motivation and so much determination to get what he wanted that nothing was going to stop him.
I would say about Tom, from the time he was very young, he was so smart and very confident. And we learned the word strong-willed. And my son Tom had a very strong will that God allowed us to help direct in the right direction. And he, as Rebecca and the family know, with his strong will, had built a good life for all of them.
So Tom was just a friend to everybody. Anybody he met, he made them feel like they were his next best friend. He was so interested in people and people's lives, and he really cared. He really cared about people, and you could feel that through his work and aviation community. He just poured his heart into anybody who would give him the time of day, and he was so loved, so loved by everybody he met. He didn't have an enemy.
Keep it going. Good job. Little left turn, you're going to be airborne. Make a left turn, dive into the valley. Beautiful job with the 140, lower the nose, gain airspeed. Great job, buddy.